This is about finding visionaries, right? I've got this thing called the translation gap. Why visionary ambition rarely survives the gravity of everyday reality. Your ambition rarely survives Monday morning. You leave the planning day inspired, you've got ambitious revenue goals, you've got a clear picture of the future, then reality hits. By lunchtime, the future is postponed again. You've got overdue invoices, customer support expectations, broken website links, an overfull inbox, supplier delays, staff problems. Whew, you name it, it's happened. Or you just got work, right? Now, here is the question. You cannot outwork a business designed to depend on you. You've got operational chaos, constant owner intervention required, you've got cash flow reactivity, decisions dictated by today's bank balance, owner overload, the urgent consumes the capacity to improve, customer leakage, winning customers prioritized over keeping them, technology without design, software or AI that accelerates a confused system, uncertain growth, scale simply creates a larger workload, professional isolation. I think this is a big one. You're carrying the entire system alone. I call this system gravity. It's the thing that pulls you back towards what the business already knows how to do. Now, there's a dangerous assumption in business. Planning is doing. A plan doesn't change operations. A goal doesn't create capacity. A vision doesn't redesign a process. Deciding to grow does not automatically create a business capable of growth. All being there, we're making these decisions, doesn't do any of those things. It happens in all sizes of businesses, even in big, large orgs, government, you name it. Making a decision doesn't make a thing so. All right. And I've got this idea about where great strategies go to die. It's the space between what you want your business to become and what your systems actually reward you for doing every day, right? The strategy and the system tell two different stories, and the system always wins. Your intention, you've got a great vision, you've got some cool strategies, then you're like, yes, let's just make some projects, right? But here's this thing called I call it the translation gap, right? Whereas reality, you've got systems, you've got habits, you've got what the customer experiences, and you've got these outcomes. Whether they're stated or not, these are the things that actually happen. Now, I've got this thing called the universal architecture of execution. So if you look on the left here, we've got an outcome, we've got the strategy, we've got objectives, then you've got tactics, then you've got capabilities, and you've got implementation. Right? What do each of those things mean? Right? Outcome means what success looks like. Your strategy is basically your theory of winning. What actions are required to produce the outcome you're looking for? Your objectives are the measurable conditions that must exist for you to succeed. The tactics are the specific actions to achieve those objectives. And the capabilities are what must exist for you to do any of this stuff. What time, what skills, what systems, what capital you need. And then you got implementation, who, when, budget, measures. So the vision only becomes real when it survives the entire cascade, not just the top bits. So, and I think this architecture, it dictates execution across any domain, right? So whether you're the All Blacks looking to win the World Cup, you've got an outcome. Your strategy might be we've got to develop the most cohesive, adaptable team that's resilient under any sort of game plan, right? And then you might have some tactics. So you have these specific and areas-based training for knockout rugby. You've got specific tactics developed for South Africa or Australia or France or whoever you might play. But then what do you need to get you from where you are today to where you need to be in 12 months, right? So you're going to need elite analysis and sports science people. Or let's say you've got a multi-regional economy and your outcome is you want to do 17% procurement spend. You're going to need all these, you're gonna need a strategy, you're gonna need some tactics, you're gonna need some capabilities. What if you're a solopreneur? That could be you. That's probably where I want to be one day. You want to have an outcome, you're right. You want to have a profitable, sustainable online income. So you need a strategy to make that happen. You need some tactics and need some capabilities, right? Uh, and then there might be some other things you might need as well. Warfare, right? You need the enemy to surrender. You need territory secured, and a bunch of these other things there. You can see that. So I think these sort of things apply in almost any domain. But your vision is not the problem. Your sequencing is, right? Visionaries get stuck because they see 400 possible futures and try to build them all simultaneously. What you don't need are more possibilities. You need a vehicle that helps you move between them, right? So you don't need consultancy, AI platform, all these other things. But you cannot see the picture when you are inside the frame. If you're inside the vision and you are emotionally attached to it, you don't need another employee to execute everything or generic motivation to work harder. You need someone who can stand beside the vision, see the whole board, and make the possibilities visible. This is where we got this idea, I call it the momentum model. Right, phase 1C, uncover the true purpose. What are you actually trying to build? Phase 2, diagnose, map the friction, whatever your current reality is, and whatever's holding you back. I call that the system gravity. And then phase 3, design, redesign the future. Whether it's the customer, economics, your personal options. And then phase 4, execute that momentum sprint. Find the simplest path. Momentum creates belief. Belief drives adoption. Adoption redesigns the system. Call this the implementation ledge. Don't try to fix the whole mountain. Find one high impact friction point. Redesign it, prove it. The goal is to find the smallest redesign that creates disproportionate momentum. And it makes the invisible visible. You're going to move from I can imagine it to let's build it. You got a vision, you got a customer, you got economics, you got gravity, identify what's pulling you back. We're going to give you some options, 3 options. You're going to get work out what the capabilities that you would need to make this exist. And then we're going to look at what's likely to pull you back. And then the path. What's the simplest route to momentum? And, maybe you think, I'm just not the person to make this happen. Maybe I should give up. Maybe you've carried this idea for years. The gap between what you see and what you've built is painful enough that you are considering pulling the dream away. Don't give up. Before you abandon the dream, try one more thing. Maybe the dream isn't wrong. Maybe the market, maybe the scale or the business model is wrong. You don't need to buy another course. You don't need to work harder. You don't need to do any of those things. You need to replace the regret with evidence. Before you go back to the safe thing, I think you should give it one last look at what's actually stopping you. See the future, find the path, let's go.